As I was saying, take off your clothes. Right now.
the couch audition.
Be comfortable.
The couch
Close your eyes.
audition. We are on the couch audition. Oh shit. Hello everybody, I'm Eloy Casagrande of Sepultura, and we are here somewhere in Germany doing our European tour, the first 2018 European tour of the Machine Messiah album. And it's a pleasure to do this interview for you and to talk a little bit about drums.
So what do you enjoy the most when you sit on the chair? What is the cherry on top? What is the perfect
Wow,
thing?
that's a good question, man. I never had that thought before about like really looking for what's my favorite thing on the drums. But I think for sure, like I think for all the musicians, like that's something natural for you. I didn't choose the drums, you know, like the drums choosing me, something like that, or something natural. I didn't woke up one day and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna play the drums. No, it's not like that. It just happens naturally, you know. I think like all the aspects of playing the drums, I think they are incredible. But maybe the coolest one, maybe it's not like specifically with the drums, but to be on stage is something that I really like. To have that connection with people and to give them energy and to receive back that energy. I think that the coolest part of playing live, of playing the drums, something like that, because drums can be very energetically, like, and especially the style that I play, it demands a lot of power, energy, and so I think that the coolest thing is when you have that connection and you stop thinking about everything. You just go inside your music. You're not playing with your brain. You're not playing with like nothing, any kind of thought. You're just playing with your body. You're something like you respect the full nature aspect. So that for me is the coolest thing. So when that connection happens, I'm my happiness point.
So it's the language thing. The
Yeah.
ultimate language everyone understands.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like more like the musical thing than actual the drums specific thing.
You are tired as usual on tour?
Oh
or?
yes, I am. We're playing the full set every night. We had only 3 days off, I think. 26 shows.
3 days and 26.
Yeah, so it's like we are getting at the end, so everything gets more complicated and exhausting.
Where do you prefer to have your days off? What is the
In a good hotel. No, I mean
region-wise.
I don't know, man. I have like it depends. Like I don't have like a favorite place to be on the day off, because it depends on where we are and where we have to go when it's gonna be the next show. So we never decide where we're gonna stay, you know, because it needs to be at some way that's gonna be the next show.
You do exactly the powerhouse drumming that I miss with so many young players nowadays. I try to be a powerhouse as well. How do you develop the accuracy and speed while playing with this intensity one whole show? Because it's like 90 minutes or even more than that,
yes.
and I think it's probably very intense for keeping up the level.
Oh yes, it is, man. It's very demanding, but it wasn't a choice that I had. I just happened to be that way. You know, I always wanted to play hard, to play very intense, but it was not to impress the people or like, oh, look at this guy, he plays so hard, he's smashing those drums. You know, it's not to have that specific response from the audience or from the fans. The thing is that I just, that's my natural way of playing. I don't consider like playing hard or hitting hard. I consider like in a tense way of playing. It's just tense. That's my way of being, of living and everything. I just put myself on the drums and it's like that what happens, you know. So, but I think because I also grew up listening to the old metal and rock musicians, rock bands. So back on those days, like Bill Ward from Black Sabbath, I'm a huge fan of this guy. Also from Vinny Appice, Ian Pace from Deep Purple. All those guys, they didn't care about technique or like movement or whatever. They just want to play the drums, hit it, you know, like play like a natural instrument, something that comes from earth. So that's something that I try to keep until today, you know, like just like I told on the first questions, like just to keep it natural, respect the body. Sometimes don't respect the body as well because you're going over your limit. And as you told, like the shows that we play for 90 minutes, and 1 hour, like almost 2 hours sometimes, it's very demanding. You know, you have to also administrate the power during the show, because if you give everything at the first songs, at the middle you're gonna be dead. So you have at the beginning you have to hold yourself a little bit, hold back. I'm always thinking about like hold, and then I can release like the power during the full set, you know. But it doesn't mean that I'm playing with less passion. I'm always playing with the same passion, but sometimes you have to have a balance between the limit, the extreme drumming from the okay, but maybe my body's not gonna support that. So you have to have that balance. It's really difficult to achieve, but that's a fight that I have every night. The beginning was really difficult to play like that every night, you know, but through the years I think my body got used to it. So nowadays it's something like that's easily, but but I cannot play soft. That's something that it's out of my playing. It's really difficult for me to bring down the volume and play quietly. It's like impossible.
What are your impossibilities on the drum set? Have you ever experienced the feeling that there are certain things your body just won't do regardless of how much you fight this inability?
Okay, the first one is to play jazz music. For me that's like quite impossible. I grew up listening to Brazilian music, samba, bossa nova, maracatu, baião, and it has some aspects of this music that sounds like jazz. They might like fit a little bit with jazz, mix a little bit with jazz, but it's really difficult for me to play jazz. I don't know, like other language, because you have to listen to it a lot and you have to live that. So that was a problem that I have until today. And also to play real soft, that's a problem that I have. I cannot bring down the volume. That's impossible for me. It's really difficult. I feel a lot of pain in my body if I have to bring down because I have to hold myself so much that it's like my body starts to hurt.
I try to really force myself for like 5 minutes. Turn the clock to 5, and then you play all the grooves as silent as you can, and it's terrible, man.
Oh yeah,
it's no fun at all.
Oh no, it sounds bad.
Yeah, but sometimes
no,
forcing you to do these things will definitely bring you further. So adds to your range. So I think that will help in the end, but it's a long way, and it's not fun. It's like playing blast beats faster and faster. The same thing for me.
No, I think it's really important. And you have to respect the music you're playing. Of course, you're not gonna play like jazz or a bossa nova playing like super hard, you know, like in a high volume. But that's just a problem that I have. Sometimes I try to play Brazilian music, samba, and I have to bring down the volume, and it sucks. It's really bad.
Yes, so I'm the right kind of band.
Oh yes,
obviously. When we're already in the Latin and tribal thing, which is since the mid-90s or the early 90s a part of Sepultura, of the signature sound, what can you bring of that versatility you have in that Latin grooves into the band right now? Because at first it was a rather primitive, original thing, like a tribal thing, and now it's probably a little bit more complicated. So what can you bring now?
Oh, now it's easier. My first contact with the drums, I started playing Brazilian music. I never, I didn't start playing because of rock music, anything like that. Maybe after some years, when I was around 9-10 years, I had a contact with rock. So then I decided to go for it. But at the beginning, I was just playing Brazilian music. So that's something that it's in our blood. It's like you grow up listening to that thing, to that kind of music. You might don't want to listen to that. But occasionally, you have to listen to it because it's playing on the radio, television, your parents or family, they are listening to this kind of music. So it's something that you have in your blood, it's in your brain somewhere, you know. To put that out in metal music is something that I really wanted to do, because Sepultura has all these styles, you know. At the beginning it was thrash metal, death metal, black metal, and then they changed it during the whole history, during the years. So then they had the Chaos AD, Roots album that they brought that primitive and root sound.
But also some hip hop waves.
Yeah. So I think Sepultura is a band that fits like almost all the styles you can put inside Sepultura music. You know, you don't have to hold yourself to, I'm not gonna show this to the band because it doesn't make part of the sounds band, but everything is like fits in the band. You know, I remember showing some crazy grooves, some grooves that they are on the last two albums, some quintuplet grooves, 7 tuplets, maracatu, crazy stuff, double bass, and the guys are like, okay, let's try it.
Bring it on.
Yeah, because they are so open-minded, so that's something that keeps you alive. And I think I couldn't be happier in a band, you know, that you can play anything they want.
Speaking of your band, and since it has such a big history, and the split thing, and the fans are still caught in that problem, many of them, does this affect you in any way, or is it just, I mean...
I really don't care about it, man.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because I respect all the history. I have a total respect from the past drummers, Igor and Jean, like the amazing guys, incredible guys. But we just live in the present. I really don't care what happened, what didn't happen. I respect all the music. I respect their music nowadays. It's just you have to follow your path, and that's it.
Sure, but I just imagine, like, obviously so many people are your fans. I mean, they're still caught in this stupid shit.
I know.
But as long as it doesn't affect you, that's good. I wasn't sure about that, because I would feel bad.
The internet is a very dangerous place. You have to be aware of that a little bit. You know, I always make fun with my friends and everybody that like when I post something, I post a video, a picture, I just post it and I close it like really quickly, and I leave it alone. Because if you start reading the comments, like at some point you're gonna get stressed or sad. There's someone trying to bring you down. So I don't know. It's a very weird place to be. Nowadays, it's impossible to be out of that, but you have to deal with in a proper way. You know? But I don't read any kind of these websites, and I think it's like all bullshit. Sometimes they are trying to just get more views, get more clicks. So most of the time, these guys, when they have those type of competitions, okay, let's vote for the best drummer, let's vote for the best guitar. Like, why? Like it's such a small war, you know. Like such difficult for all the bands to be playing and to be sharing the stage, and you are putting everybody against everybody. You know?
Enjoy the diversity instead of.
You have to like now you're fighting with the other drummer because deciding like who is the best and who is not the best. Like it's art. We're talking about art. We're not talking about like it's not a running competition. It's not like a football game. There's not a winner. You have to respect and see what you like and enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, most of the time, the people that are not doing it, they believe it would be that way, but it isn't for the people who do it.
Yeah, it's not. And in these websites, they keep like putting that idea on people's mind. Oh, the band they are fighting, and they put like each band with against the other band. It is so like bad. You know, it's so unhealthy for everybody.
My goal with this program is to make people understand more about music, about instruments, art, thinking, and ultimately about the person I talk to. So that would be you. So it's about learning from me, and you have rudiments and developing feel and personality through experience, but there's a thing you have to learn, I think, that you can't do with just experience. You have to take on other perspectives. So you had some teachers. Aquiles Priester was your teacher,
yes,
I think.
Yes.
So how was it to be with him? What was the most important stuff he said to you? What was the perspective changing for you?
Okay, I had a few teachers. I had like 3 or 4 different teachers. Like I told you, I started like playing Brazilian music, and I had a Brazilian teacher that only played Brazilian stuff. And then I had another Brazilian drummer, like he played Brazilian music. And then I had a class with Aquiles, and he's such like an incredible guy. Everybody knows that he's a really good, like incredible, surreal drummer, but he is also like a very good teacher. He really knows how to respect each student. You know, he really goes into the biggest issue of each student, and he knows how to make you like study and go for it. He's an incredible guy. I think the most important thing that he told me, I remember since today, is that he was like back that time I was 12 years old, 12 or 13 years old, and he came to me like, okay, you were a kid, like everybody knows that you can play really well. You are like a kid that plays well, but everybody always they are saying that, okay, you are only 12 years and you're playing good, but when you grow up, you're gonna be much better. And how do you feel about that? And I was like, oh, that's something normal. Like, I'm a kid and I'm playing the drums, you know. No, they have to come to you and say, now, you are 12-year-old and you are playing amazingly. You know, you have to be the good right now. You cannot wait until you are 20 years old or when you get an adult. So coming back, so he came to me like, you don't want to wait until you get 20 years old or 25, 30, 35. You have to be good right now. It doesn't matter that you are 12-year-old. You know, you have to expect to people come to you and say, oh, you're really playing the drums. And I go, oh, in 5 years you're gonna be really good. No, that's not. You have to think about today, not tomorrow. So that's something that really was a shake in my life. You know, I was like, oh yeah, cool.
you can tell a story with just a few words, as long as you know how to tell it with that little vocabulary you have. Of course, the more words you know, the more elaborate you can be. So apart from the techniques you learned and developed, how has the storyteller of playing a solo inside you grown? How do you tell a story when you play?
Ah, that's really interesting. Wow, that's difficult to tell you. I don't know. I just play what I want to play.
There's not really a line?
No, there is a line. There is a line. On my last drum solos, what I have been thinking is like at the beginning, I will try to play something very technical, difficult, and very like demanding of my brain, you know. So I'm always thinking about like, okay, now I'm gonna play something difficult for some people. They might not understand. It's something that I'm studying right now. So I really like to have that contact with the unknown. You know, when you are playing something totally that you are not so comfortable with that. So every night's gonna be different. I'm not feeling comfortable, but in that uncomfortability, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling comfortable. You know what I mean? I have to put myself in danger to feel safe. So that's something that I'm always thinking about during my drum solos. You know, some people they say no, you have only play stuff that when you feel very comfortable, but it's not gonna be like real. It's not gonna be for the moment. That's something that you came up before, and you're just like showing what you were yesterday when you were studying. So when I sit on the drums to do a drum solo, I try to at first do something very like difficult for me, of course, something that I'm studying at the moment, put myself in danger, and then I try to play some Brazilian stuff. I like to go through all that music, and then I have like some more relaxation. I can relax a little bit, and then at the end I really like to go up to my limit. You know, I have a free part of my solo, totally solo free. You know, that I don't know what to expect. I just come up with some groove, and I start soloing and trying to keep a tempo on the hi-hat, and that's it, just putting everything out at the last part of my solo. But of course it's a storytelling, and my biggest problem always is to fight against my brain with my mind, you know, because I try to keep aware of types of thoughts, any kind of thought. I'm not thinking about speed, I'm not thinking about technique, I'm not thinking about music. I just want to live the moment, you know, give the best that I can, and really put myself there naked. We're using clothes, of course, but you know what I mean. But it's really difficult. It's something very intense. You finish a drum solo totally wasted, and it's like painting. Doing like a painting job, something like that.
Not just a painting job, but I was thinking just about the surrealist guys who try to get methods to be fully just without thinking, just doing, like scribbling and let's see what happens. Sometimes with the drugs, okay, of course, but it's the story is what you don't think, but what you are at the moment.
Exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. And every day you are a different person. So that's the coolest thing.
Okay, final thing is, when I look back to my early days, I sometimes think that I'm too critical with myself nowadays. Back then there was the starting experience when you were happy about the little things, and they were huge at that time. So do you still have this ultimate joy that you had in the beginning, what you do? Do you still have that, or have you grown a little more critical and not? Probably you have.
No, I think I have the joy every night when I'm playing the drums. I always say that to everybody that it doesn't matter the style that I'm playing. I could be playing pop, rock, country music. I used to do a lot of recording sessions in Brazil, like playing country, pop, whatever. I feel really good playing the drums. Like It doesn't depend like what style I'm playing, what kind of music. I just feel good playing the drums. That's my instrument. That's the best way that I found to communicate with people. I'm not really good at talking. I don't feel like that okay, I'm gonna be a preacher, you know, like this, or a teacher, something like that. But that's the way that I found to talk with everybody. You know, something that for me it worked. And of course, if you play the same thing every night, it gets really boring. You're like playing every night the same thing. So I have to try to change it every night. I'm always challenging myself. Okay, I'm gonna do a drum fill. Like, let's try something different. Let's try something. Okay, let's change this a little bit. Sometimes I really suck doing that. I do a mistake. The mistake happens. But sometimes when it goes right, it's like, it feels fantastic, you know, like, yes, I did it. And I was just thinking like 5 minutes before I go on stage, oh, I'm gonna change that part. And if it works, and if the band likes it, the guys look at me like, oh, that was cool, that was nice. You
Otherwise,
know,
there's stuff flying at you.
Oh yeah, that's it. And that feels incredible, you know, when you have the contact with the now, with the moment. And I think through the years it becomes something really more intense. Because at the beginning you have really to study the techniques, all the movements, you're like into methods and all this kind of thing. And you don't have like the inner contact with the music. And I think through the years I became a really more intense, like more artistic way of playing. You know, don't thinking too much about technique or this kind of thing. Also, something that really changes a lot, like every night, is the audience. If you have a good response, it might be one person that is looking at you and you have an eye contact, or you just change some words and you can really change like everything for the night. If you have someone like just looking at you during the whole show, it's really annoying. You know, it can brings you down a lot. So, but you have to respect that. There is nothing that I can do. That's energy that happens or not. So
it's like with your fills, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Don't feel like that, but I'm feeling it. What can I do? You know, empirism. You're feeling it. So that's it. Drums suck. To play the drums is really bad. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, man. So thank you for watching the video. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope that you got a little bit inside my mind, and I hope you like it. Have a good day and go play your drums right now.
Even though they suck. Thank you.